Welcome to the latest episode of our podcast for Wealth Mosaic and Conversation. In this episode, recorded at Objectway's recent ON26 conference in Sorrento, our founder Stephen Wall spoke to Objectway's CEO Luigi Marciano and Luigi Sbrozzi, partner financial services at Cinven. Among the topics Stephen, Luigi and Luigi covered were an introduction to Objectway, the milestones since Objectway's founding, why Cinven invested in Objectway, the firm's next priorities for growth, and the overall theme of the ON26 conference, Innovation Built to Scale. We hope you enjoy the podcast.
So, gentlemen, thanks for joining us. It's been a great couple of days, really insightful. I'm sure it's been tiring being on stage and having to manage it all, but bringing everyone together is something that works fantastically for the industry, for clients, for your own development as a company. Luigi Marciano, in this instance, as we have the two Luigis with us today, can you tell us a little bit about who you are, your background, your career, how you've got to where you are now, and perhaps something about the origins of Objectway all those years ago when the company was founded?
I am a nuclear engineer, and so I started my career combining my nuclear power plants competencies with technology from the beginning. I started working in design a simulator for a large nuclear power plant in Italy. And unfortunately, in Italy, there was the referendum that stopped the nuclear energy program. Right. And so I had a challenge and tried to change this in an opportunity. Yeah. So I moved from nuclear power plants to technology, leveraging my experience in managing complex system, very complex system. And so the next experience was with the European Commission, because at that time, after Chernobyl, there was a strong need of experts to study the effect of the impact of the incident across Europe. And so I started working as a program manager of a large program with 50 million of ECU, European Currency Unit of that time, to study the effect of the radiation across different countries in Europe. And there was the need of a database, common database across the different countries to store all this data, analyze this data, develop new models for long-term distance propagation of nucleus and so on. And so I applied my technology competencies in these large projects across Europe. I did another fundamental experience for my career, coordinating and working with people from different European countries. In the European Commission, I worked with German people, UK people, Belgium, Holland, Greek, Danish, France, French people,
all the colors of Europe,
Spanish, yes. And my role was to put together those people, make them agree on the project topics. So it's very, very interesting and experience. And this was a term assignment because, and so when I finished, I said what I can do. I decided that to start my own company. And I started, I learned a lot about the new technology of that time, so object-oriented technology, and so decided to start a company that leveraging object-oriented technology in complex markets. Yep. So energy was one, telecommunication was the second, and financial service was the third, and we started working with clients in these three markets. What I learned in telecommunication and energy, the concept of platform. The concept of platform was common in telecommunication, but it was not common in financial services, especially in wealth management. So we see an opportunity. We see an opportunity to take this concept of platform and develop a platform from financial services, especially for wealth management. There was the more dynamic context of financial services to support the ecosystem of the wealth manager. We are speaking about 2000, so 25 years ago.
Yep.
And that was a journey because it was not an easy task. We started building an advisory platform based on the experience we did with a larger financial advisor network, and we started redesign with a new technology, Java 2 Enterprise Edition technology for a bank, private owned in Italy. And then with these two experiences, we created our own platform, scalable, MiFID II compliance, because MiFID comes, so regulation become a driver to change the system in Italy. So, and then we started to understood that the domain was very complex from business point of view. So technology was not enough. And so we put together business competence and technology competence. And we understood also that we have to change the strategy. Organically, it was very difficult to put together all these companies. We started with a buy and build approach. So we bought other platform, very good, but for a small company. Yep. And we put together, integrating that, the leading platform, wealth management platform in Italy. In 2012, we started the internationalization. At that point, we have another turning point, because the decision was expanding horizontally in other vertical, for example, payments, or going internationally. Yep. Studying the market, we understood that this was a very specific sector, and that the need was present also in other country for this concept of platform. And so we decided to start expanding organically, but also by acquisition with the experience we did. And so we acquired a company in UK, and we build with this move a strong business in UK. We acquired a company in Belgium, and we expanded in continental Europe. Then we acquired a company in Germany, and every acquisition brings us both capability and local capability to cover the full value chain, and also local presence. So step by step, we build what we call today the Objectway platform, that is able to support the entire ecosystem of financial services for wealth management. So wealth manager, asset manager, private banks, and asset services.
Perfect. Thank you for the detail. Right, it's always good to have these conversations and learn some details that you weren't expecting to pick up. I wasn't expecting some sort of the nuclear history of Italy in there, but that's great. So thank you. So Luigi Sbrozzi, now can you give us a little bit of an introduction to yourself, your role, and what you're doing at Cinven?
Yep. No, thank you for the question. A little bit sort of less of a diverse career on my side. I'm one of the partners at Cinven, and I look after our mid-market strategy, which is something we launched in 2020. This is a strategy that is dedicated to investing primarily around the financial services sector and anything that is adjacent to it, including technology and services. And Objectway clearly is one of the investment in our mid-market platform. And my background has been investing in the financial services space for the last 20 years. And really, sort of my first job was with the now sort of no longer bank Credit Suisse.
Yep. Okay.
And I ended up advising financial institutions a bit by accident, and sort of never left. So I was trapped in the financial services space and made a career out of it, and thoroughly enjoying all of the complexity of investing in these sectors, where I think Luigi said it very well. You know, the combination of regulation, highly sophisticated and global market trends, clearly a business to business and a business to consumer. Yep. It kind of makes it quite intellectually challenging, also from an investment standpoint.
Yeah, and wealth is an industry of opportunity, I think. But we've heard a lot of the history of Objectway and how it's developed over time across Europe. Can you tell us a little bit about what attracted you to invest in the business? What were the fundamentals, the strengths? Are there milestones that you're focused on?
Yeah, well, maybe starting a little bit from how did we find out about Objectway? I mean, clearly we are doing this podcast in the context of the Objectway customer conference, and funny enough, we got to know Objectway as from a client perspective. So one of my investments is a client of Objectway. It's a wealth management business that uses the platform, and so we got a sort of first-hand perspective on what is the quality of the technology and the services, and from that we sort of got to know Luigi and heard about his entrepreneurial vision, and I think we put two and two together, and it was very interesting. Objectway is really one of the few pan-European platforms that is capable of providing services and technology across Europe. And Europe, as we all know, it's 27 different countries with very different regulation and very complex way of conducting business. And so it's very difficult to build something pan-European. So we saw the uniqueness of the platform, and that clearly was an attraction. And the other attraction is that Luigi did a fantastic job, I would say largely on his own, right? Effectively using his own capital and the quality of the management team. And in technology, it's quite rare for a private equity to be able to sort of join these type of journeys when the company is already quite established. Often you have to sort of pick up some very early stage businesses where there's a very large risk. So in this case, we saw the opportunity of, frankly, being able to support the business and add value, but on a journey, on a business that is already on a journey and a trajectory of very profitable and stable growth.
Perfect. Turning back to Luigi Marciano, thanks again for the background of growing the business from zero, effectively, to where it is now. We've talked a little bit, we've heard a lot in the conference about the speed of change and just the complexity of what's happening in the market, what clients want, what competitors are doing. As a founder and as someone who's still leading the business, how do you and your management team kind of navigate the complexity? How do you keep up with change? How do you make sure that Objectway itself and Objectway's clients can deliver what they want to do? Do you have a process? Is there a clear mechanism?
We have created what we believe is a unique way of doing our job. Yeah. And we started in 2013 a new way of doing of providing software emerged, the software as a services. Yep. And we was lucky because one of our clients was a precursor of this. They decide was the Azimut group in Italy. Yep. At that time, Azimut was an Italian wealth manager with 40 or 50 billion asset under management. And today it is a global group with more than 100 billion asset management. And they decide to externalize their technology platform to us entirely. And so we did this experience of serving as a services a large, quite large wealth manager and asset manager that have the ambition to grow a lot faster. And we understood that was the future. And so we started changing our approach and shifting from the license and maintenance traditional approach to this new model. Yeah. But this new model present new challenges because you have to manage all the infrastructure, you have to manage all the change, you have to manage all the demand, because the client came to you with say, I want to achieve that business outcome, please do it. Yeah. They're not in the traditional process. They write specification and the provider implement the specification. This is completely different.
A new model. Yep.
Yes, a new model. And we started to understand that this model was well received, and especially in UK. When we moved in UK with this new model, the UK market appreciated a lot this new model, and the UK market was key for our growth because the UK in the continental Europe market is made mainly, the wealth management is made mainly by banks. Yeah. So at that time we don't have a core banking platform. Yeah. And so this was a limitation for us. But in UK, this was not the same. In UK, there was banking activity and wealth management is separated with a large wealth market.
Yep.
And so that was perfect for us, perfect fit. We arrived with our platform front to back with a local personalized UK back office, our wealth platform with channels, portfolio management, CRM, and so on. And we started growing UK quite faster. And in the meantime, also in Europe, situation matured. And also as a service the demand for as a service model growth. And this gives us the opportunity to serve also large organizations that selectively decide to not to source everything, but to source part of their business with this new model. And so in this way, we grow quite fast. And today we have 135 million in revenue. And as Luigi said, that we are profitable, so very stable and solid business.
Yep.
And now for us, the next step is growing, scaling, further grow, and also this is the main reason of the partnership with Cinven.
Yeah, perfect. And turning back to Cinven, Luigi, so I think, well, the other Luigi has given us some good context, as you did in your first question. So can you tell us a little bit about what the next priorities are? You know, where is this going? There's growth, there's scalability. Is it about new geographies, new segments, new products? Can you tell us more about what you're trying to create?
Yeah, no, I mean, you touched on a lot of the points. Clearly, there's a lot of ambition with Objectway, and I think our partnership is to sort of continue this trajectory of sort of being the leading provider in Europe. As I said, Europe is a complex market, and you need a lot of sort of localized presence. And I think there are still some major markets in Europe where I think we can build out and where wealth management is material. Places like France or Switzerland are certainly priorities. The history of the company has been very successful in identifying M&A targets that share the same culture and way of working. Yep. And so we're actively on the hunt together to sort of complete the geographic portfolio. But also the other topic, which of course was a topic for this conference, is really sort of to progress at pace with innovation and investment in technology. Clearly, the solution as a service model is the future. I mean, software as a service was the past. Now is solution as a service. The reason we liked so much Objectway is that it was already oriented on this approach of really understanding from the clients what they want. Yep. And basically tailoring the solution to them, but in the context of a single platform. So it's ahead of its peers who tend to be a little bit more monolithic in the way they approach this. So we believe we actually have a leg up on innovation. And if we play our cards very well, we can absolutely overtake the competition, because we have this two-way dialogue with the clients, and as they think about how they develop their own strategy, their own sort of journey, and everybody's going to adopt, whether it's AI or other sort of scalability features, differently. Yep. So you can't be sort of one size fits all, certainly not on a difficult and complex topic like AI. And I think the flexibility of Objectway as a business and as a platform is significant. So we will push very hard on this. We think we have there's an open door from the clients to really kind of work together, and we intend to absolutely support the business to crash through this door and really develop very fast.
Yep. Well, listening to what's been said on stage, right, it's all about partnership. There's some deep partnerships already in place, and it's about working together to solve what appear across the industry to be common challenges, right? But they need solid partners to be able to deliver on what they're trying to achieve. Thank you. So, Luigi, turning back to you, innovation built to scale is the key theme of the conference. Grafting innovation into your business, which is an interesting term, and building scalable growth. Can you tell me a little bit more about what that means? Some sort of real life examples almost, and how firms can actually deliver it for their own individual or specific needs.
We see our clients will use AI in three ways.
Yep.
First of all, general productivity, and for this they will use Anthropic. OpenAI, this hyperscaler. Yep. But the second and the third usage is optimizing their implement hyper automation in their internal
Yep.
system, internal process. And third, implement differentiated capability for their investors. And we are a key enabler for these two parts. And in the first one, we will support them in, on one side, to study their operating model today and decide which part have to be left to humans and which part can be automated and executed by AI. And done that, we can implement in our platform, on top of our platform, the AI level that is, like Alberto Cucco explained, have to be implemented on top of the existing capability, deterministic capability, existing structured data, combined with unstructured data, large language model, and a new way of human interaction with the software. And so this is more in the back end, in the operation. On the front end, the channels and interaction with the clients, this is another way, because the interaction with the clients today is digital or human or hybrid. But with AI will be a third EI. So we will remain the activity, typical digital activity, for example, client reporting, navigating portfolio, that's something that you do alone with a passive digital application. There are another application with an AI agent that you make question, he reply to you, he give you advice for simple things. And the third one is the human relation. Your advisor will become your will solve more complex problem where you don't where AI cannot achieve.
Yep.
And so we can enable also this capability, because this capability have to be crafted in our solution, where the first two are present.
Yep.
So we have the advisory capability, the client capability, and we have these two, the AI capability to support the advisor on one side and the investor on the other side.
Perfect. I like sort of reading your face and mannerism when you're talking, because he's getting quite excited about this stuff, which is quite a good thing, right? And it's like he believes and actually enjoys the sort of topic. So that probably comes back as well to the reason to invest in the business, right, in terms of the founder-led approach. We talked a little bit about what you're going to do in terms of M&A and different things. Is there an area where you think Cinven can really deliver value to Objectway as part of this partnership? Because Objectway has talked about partnership with its clients. I mean, it's exactly the same thing here, right? I mean, your job is to support them growing, just on the other side of the fence.
Yep. Look, I think clearly on the M&A front, that's sort of what we do for a living. That's sort of our skill set, and we work hand in hand already, having been a few months since the deal completed, on identifying new opportunities and then sort of unlocking them and supporting the business also with our financial capabilities. The other area where I think we're spending a considerable amount of time with the business is to provide support in general in the wealth management ecosystem. This is a key area of focus for us from an investment standpoint. We do own wealth managers as part of our portfolio. So in a way, we can channel some of the complexities and the challenges we see as operators of these businesses, which inevitably are in many cases the same questions and challenges that the client base of Objectway finds. So we can kind of fit them a little bit, what's going on in the trenches.
Yep.
That of course becomes relevant for the business. And then of course what we do is we are a large European private equity fund. We have several relationships with financial institutions who work with us, provide us financing for our M&A. And as Objectway gets sort of bigger and bigger, clearly the ambition is to be present in all of these financial institutions. And so we're almost like ticking the box one by one, trying to see how we can support commercially the business in unlocking these opportunities, because I think the platform is very strong, and I think our innovation journey is very credible. So we have every right to become more and more successful.
Trying to tie it all together. It's the ecosystem approach that we've heard several times through the event, yes. Luigi, if you were to advise clients, partners, and other prospects and whoever's in the room over the course of the last 2 days, what would you say they should be taking back to their businesses from what they've heard on stage?
In my opinion, they have to have a clear vision of what they want to go strategically, not tactically. Because as several company partners said, today if you want to design to scale, you have to assess from the beginning. You have to design a clear idea what you want to go and create the foundation. So if you have the right scope, then as Leda said, you have to be a little of courage. You have to have courage to say, okay, I want to go there, and I don't have to stop in the middle. If there is a challenge, if there is a barrier, I need to have, and for this is needed the commitment of the top management. Because the journey is not easy, of course. Maybe it's not linear.
Twists and turns.
And then the rest come, in my opinion, not automatically, but come
on top of solid foundations, right? Then you can build the credible businesses. Well, Luigi and Luigi, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for the invite to the event. We really enjoyed it. We hope you found value again in further developing the objectives of Objectway. And final question, given this is now our second OIN Objectway Client Conference, can we have a little bit of a tip as to where we might be going in the next couple of years? Is there an idea?
Think a little bit, but usually we try to find a place that represents the story we want to tell. For example, Venice, we was talking about resilience over age, and the connection. So Venice was very resilient, a very nice place, very resilient, with bridge that connect island. So the metaphor of connecting people and connecting organization. And Sorrento was the lemon, the ovali, so grafting on solid foundation. And so the next one, we have to think a little bit. But it will be, we will try to do something that will be, as possible, more interesting to this.
Great. Well, we look forward to it anyway. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time.
Okay. Thank you.
Good to speak to you.
Thank you for joining us once again for the Wealth Mosaic in Conversation. If you're enjoying the podcast, please subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're using. If you'd like to be featured on the podcast, email Stephen@thewealthmosaic.com. See you next week for more conversations.